Okay, we are officially recording. And here we go. We have a little introduction welcome activity while we're waiting for a few more people to show up. Let's go with about maybe 3 minutes on this. So there are two pieces. One, please get into the Canvas calendar for today. Open the PowerPoint. There are some links that you are going to be using and referencing for today's session. And then also write into the chat. Where is your dream vacation? Oh, my Google account is not authorized so none of you can get it. This is so interesting. Okay. I thought I did authorize it. So yeah, the dream vacation. Thank you, Olga. Appreciate it. Okay, so we're going to scratch that part for today, and I'm going to just paste the links into the chat because Thailand. I went to Thailand a couple of years ago. I remember thinking that it was unreasonably hot and humid. Like I wasn't okay. I like stand in front of the like air conditioning like this every night, just so that I could sort of like reset. I don't know. It was really, really intense. Yeah, sure. A lot of people really like sun. When you burn like I do, sometimes that gets harder. Yeah. Yeah, you probably love living here then, right? Yep. Yep. I'm thinking about what mine is right now. And I it's been so long since I've actually thought about travel. That's why I chose this, because I knew this was going to be a hard question for me. I kind of really want to go to Inverness. But that's because I really like Outlander, the show. Anybody? Love it. Love that show. And the books are great too. Oh, so amazing. Ooh. Yeah, Chile. My parents go to Chile. Actually, they used to fairly often. They love it there for some reason. They think it's amazing.
All right, it looks amazing.
Uh-huh.
I really want to go.
Well, they went to the park there, the
Yeah, I
Torre
forget.
del Paine, it's got those like crazy like tower looking mountain things, and there's
Yeah.
like this huge hike, and yeah, you can like take horses part of the way. Yeah, my parents loved it. They went and they did that, and they thought it was just amazing.
So,
Well, awesome. That was 3 minutes, so let's get rolling with today then. Thank you so much for everybody who participated. I love doing these things. I think they're fun. So yeah, let's talk about pieces you need today. So we have the questions Google Sheet. For those of you who came to one of my other events, I have this Google Sheet that just is where you go in there and you put in all your questions. You can also put them into the chat and I can look at them and maybe address them in the time. But if they're not like, I need to address them right now, or if I don't have an answer to it right now, it'll go into that document so that I can answer it later. And of course, I am then putting that document into the weekly newsletters. Has everybody gotten a chance to see that? Sweet. Okay. And this doc should be accessible at this point. Okay. Now the PowerPoint, I said open it. Can't do that. So I'm going to put all the links in there that you're going to need. You should have your handbook at the ready, as they say in England. You will be utilizing it. So once again, either the physical copy of it or the electronic, but either way, I am going to ask you questions about it. You are going to need to use it and reference it for today's activities. Also, I'm not sure if I actually did this correctly, so hopefully I did. Are you able to rename yourselves right now? If you are, please rename yourselves and add the name of your test that you will be taking. Let's see if it works. If it works, great. If it doesn't work because I didn't do it, How do I rename? So usually if you go in the top right-hand corner of your picture and click the 3 dots, there's an option to rename. If oops, shoot. Go back. Why did I do that? There we go. If it doesn't give you that option, then if you could actually just instead do that in the chat, put your name, or I guess it'll show up with your name, and put the name of the test that you're taking. Oh, it's working. You're all able to do it. Perfect. That is ideal. Okay, so I gave out a survey and I wanted to touch on it briefly. Thank you for everyone who did the survey. I took it and I created the office hours based on the needs there. So we have Monday 5 to 6, Thursday 3 to 4, and then Saturdays 10 to 12. Now the 10 to 12 works nicely because it kind of flows straight in from when we have Saturday sessions 9 to 10. So, you know, you have all spoken and it's great. So that all seems to work. And from the things that I was getting from what some of you were answering and some of the questions, a lot of folks are really unsure of when to start. And the answer to that question is, you know, there are pieces of it you can 100% do now. So the answer is now. Now's the time to start. And also I was reading a lot of stress, especially around kind of ambiguities around this situation, of which there are a handful. And it's also kind of a large, daunting task anyway. But I promise you that with regards to the edTPA, you are all already doing pretty much all of it. Like the pieces that you maybe aren't already doing is like recording, although some of you are already recording for the program, so you're already getting some of that. And also, you know, the writing about it. But also you would have some of those conversations with your colleagues and your coaches anyway. So it's all pretty much, you know, what I'm saying is there's not as much to be stressed about as you may feel. So let's move on to the next piece. Don't forget to take care of your needs. Once again, you need to go to the bathroom. You need to, like, you know, step away. You have questions, whatever your needs may be, please take care of them. We are all adults, even if we may not always want to be. Okay. Agenda, welcome and pieces you need for today. We have just done. The plan for today is we're going to be doing a deep dive into task 1, which is around planning. We're going to look at the physical elements of task 1, the rubrics for task 1, and then the deep dive activity, which is going to kind of find a way to connect the two of them in a way that should be useful for you moving forward with this portfolio project. And then we're going to do what I'm referring to as the soft end. I'm hoping that you will get so kind of like into it and excited that you might want to stay on afterward into my, you know, my office hours. I haven't checked my office hours yet to see if anybody has signed up this morning, but last I checked, it was pretty open. So we can put, you know, I can put folks into individual rooms to continue working. And then if you want to come and ask me a question, we can make all of that happen. So that's the soft end. But everybody who doesn't want to participate in the office hours, you are 100% welcome to leave. Around 10 is the plan. Any questions so far? Okay. Okay, now, of course, we need to talk about this. So I don't know how many of you have been seeing anything in the, you know, news or on Facebook, the education world. House Bill 1028, which is the elimination of the edTPA. Apparently it is still in process. Now it has gone to, I think it's the House, but they are still working through it. What that means is that we are asking all of our candidates to proceed with your already planned edTPA plans, okay, because we're not sure about the timeline. We have no idea what this looks like. This could take considerably longer. And regardless of whether or not they eliminate the edTPA or not, we are still going to need to do a different process. And that might end up being the multiple measures process. So for this, for the moment, if any of you have any questions or concerns or worries about this, the answer is stay the course until you hear otherwise. Yeah, that's a fantastic question, Sarah. Would that get rid of the edTPA altogether in the future? That is yet to be seen. That's you know, that's the fun part of today, is that I don't actually have the answer to that question, but that is a fantastic question. I have the same one. Um, I mean, I would actually like to see something that's got a little bit more, um, a little bit closer to the multiple measures process. But you know, I don't get to make the rules. I'm not like, you know, Prezi God. Let's see. If we haven't registered for the edTPA, should we hold off? I would say for right now, yes. Keep planning, but you can hold off on registration. You should be able to access all of the documents. Good questions. Any others before we move on? Giving me time to drink my tea. Okay, onwards and upwards. So planning, you've seen this whatever, not an illustration, this, what do you call this? There's a word for it. Help me out, education folk.
I don't know, diagram?
Thank you. Thank you. You've seen this diagram a gajillion times. You're at this point, you're probably numb to it. So I thought I'd kind of do one of these to kind of zone in. This is what we are talking about today: building content understanding, supporting learning needs, using knowledge of students, assessments to monitor student learning. Okay, these are the pieces we are really focusing on in this task. This is the focus of this task and also of today. Looks like we have another chat thing. Graphic. Is it a graphic? Is that better? Okay. Graphic diagram.
I think it's infographic.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
My gosh. See, this is why I need you guys around. Thank you. Because I forget words all the time. It's a problem. I'm working on it. Okay, so this is what we're doing. Yay, planning. Big deal. So here we go. What do I actually have to physically turn in for task 1? In what page in my handbook do I find the answer? I want everybody, as quickly as possible, throw it in the chat. Where do I find the answer to that question? What number? What page number? See how long it takes you. Well, you're typing it into the chat. You giving me fingers there, Jennifer? 10. Okay, looks like we've got 10 for literacy. Now, when you say literacy, I'm assuming you mean elementary literacy. Okay.
Yes.
Fantastic.
I
What
need
about
it.
elementary math? Is it the same thing for elementary math? Is it 10? Everybody has 10? Oh, this is funny. Are we all still actually actively looking? Oh my goodness gracious. Page 8 for secondary math. Okay, so different pages, but kind of somewhere in the same area. Why is it important to know about this? You have page 10 for visual arts. Very nice. Good, 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 Joe. So here's the deal. This is a question that you should not have to spend literally more than like 5 seconds on. And some of you spent closer to 8 seconds, which, you know, not horrible considering how, you know, seconds are pretty quick. But this is a good thing to have marked. Just marked, you know exactly where it is. There's also this, okay? These are the 5 elements. Now, I'm fairly certain that these don't change a whole lot once you get into some of the secondary, but I could be wrong. These are the basics though, okay? You have part A, B, C, D, and E, context for learning, lesson plans for learning, segment, instructional materials, assessments, planning commentary. That's what you're physically turning in. Now, some of these, not all of them, some of them, they actually give you a template that you have to fill out, and that's what you have to adhere to as far as structure is concerned. It already comes with the font, type and size, and it tells you like the length and all of that. And the others, you have to look a little deeper to figure out, like, okay, this says lesson plans. Lesson plans doesn't give you a template. What is that supposed to look like? What is it supposed to be? It's quite a bit more open, but there are a few parameters. Those are also going to be right around that page 8, page 10 area. okay? So these, boom, these are the physical elements. What rubrics will be used to evaluate task 1? Where do I find the answer to this question? In the chat, go, I'm gonna count. Whoo! Jennifer, you're just on it like a bonnet, as my sister always said. You're quick. Anybody else? What do we got? Elementary math? We're at like 10 seconds. Oh my goodness. Too much excitement for your Saturday morning? Do I need to tone it down?
It's all
14.
about the caffeine.
Yes. Okay, cool. So you now know where to find the rubrics. Fantastic. Nicely done. Those should all be marked because once again, that's not where you need your energy to be going. Perfect. Here are the rubrics. Rubric 1, planning for, and I have it empty because of course it has to do with whatever your test is on. Rubric 2, lesson plans for learning segment. Rubric 3, using knowledge of students to inform teaching and learning. Are you feeling it kind of connecting back to that infographic? Yeah, it's all connected. It all is. Rubric 4, identifying and supporting language demands. That's an entire rubric. And rubric 5, planning assessments to monitor and support student learning. Now, you might think 5 physical tasks, 5 rubrics. Well, they just match up, right? It's not that easy. Why would it be that easy? You all got into teaching. It's a little bit more challenging. What we are going to do is we're going to actually dig into it today. What rubrics go with what physical elements, and then talking about what is expected then out of each physical element. We are going to get pretty quickly into this small group work. Now, this is a part where I'm going to need to, whoopsie doodle. I'm going to need to actually get this link and share it with you. So give me a second to find the link. That's it. Copy. And let's go back and let's find the chat. Paste, enter. Can you all access that? Okay. I'm going to put you into breakout rooms, and you're going to be in breakout rooms with the plan was that you're going to be with like tests, but not everybody's going to have a partner in their like tests. Okay. So that means that you're still going to be in a partnership with somebody, but you're still going to fill out the section for your test because it needs to be something that's useful for you. Okay. So I've sent you it's basically like a huge thing of Google Slides. Okay. And you are going to identify which rubrics are going to be used for which physical elements. Okay. You can refer to the URLP document for extra help. That would be found in the forms section of the edTPA support Canvas site. And once you have figured out, okay, here are the 5 physical elements. This one is going to have, rubric, I don't know, 4 and 5. Then you're going to go to the next section and you're going to pull some key verbiage out of level 4 or level 5, as it may be the case, depending on your test. And it's going to give you some of that key verbiage that you can come back to so that you can be like, what do they want out of this? Okay, let me show you kind of an example of what I am talking about here. Elementary literacy. Here, can you guys all see this? Fantastic. So here are the elements. So here you're literally just going to put the numbers of whatever rubrics you believe based on your understanding and that you agree upon in your groups is going to apply to each one. And then here's where you're going to put in some of that language from the rubrics. This is why it's so important that you know where to find the rubrics so that you can talk about them. And why I want you to work together, because I want you to kind of, talk through what makes the most sense. So are there any questions about this while I am making your groups? And while I'm making the groups, I can't really click on the chat. So just go off mute and ask me questions. Ask me all the questions.
Where would I find the URLP document?
Good question. That would be in, if you go to the Canvas site and you go to forms. Oh, silly girl. Hold on, my dog needs to go out of the room. Sometimes I wish she could open her own doors. So you go to the Canvas site and then you go under forms. It should be under there.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Okay. No other questions, yeah? Everybody's set and good to go? You know what you're doing. Can somebody go off of mute and tell me really quickly what you're doing?
I'm still looking for the form. So.
Oh, the ELD la 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 la. Okay. So if you go here, can you see my canvas? And you go to dashboard.
Dashboard.
Thingy.
Yep, I'm in. And then I opened it up under your forms. And then I just
Now I can't find
right
it.
there. Oh, handbook and forms.
There it is. Sorry, I was hiding literally
Okay.
behind your face.
It's okay. It's Saturday morning.
Understanding rubric level progressions.
Okay.
URLPs. Pick the one that makes the most sense for you.
Okay, then I did open the right one. Okay.
Fantastic. Any other questions? I'm going to throw you into a room here now pretty quickly. Looks like we have one more chat. Okay. Try to put somebody into a room. How do I move them to another room? I'll figure that out. Okay, off we go. Okay, so I just put you with Joe and Lee. Can you guys, all three of you, work together?
Yeah, of course.
Sweet.
This is fun. Am I in room 3?
Yep.
Okay.
I just tried to move you to room 3. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Did you get the thing? It says that I've moved you there and that you have not joined. What if you go down to where it says rooms, breakout rooms at the bottom?
Okay, I was briefly in the literacy room. Oh, there it is.
Okay. Good. So now let's take a peek, see how they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to pull our stuff up. We were getting to know each other first, Emily. So we haven't looked. We've been.
Oh my God, you're in trouble.
I know, I know. So okay, well, we wanted to know backgrounds
Yeah.
because Jamie's ahead of me in her
That's
code.
great. I think that's fantastic that you have done that. Thank
Okay, now we need to get to work.
you.
Okay, so let me pull up my thingamajigger. Where is it?
Thingamajigger. That's that's exactly how my vocabulary works.
Well, it's Saturday. We're going into hybrid on Monday, so I'm just all over the place. So
It's amazing that you're here then. Thank you for coming. I try to make it, fun as well as informative and important and useful. La la la.
No, and I love all your humming and singing. That's what I do. So I
Oh,
feel
was I
very
humming?
comfortable.
And when
Yeah.
was I singing?
You all know you're like do 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 da da da, and I'm like I do that.
Mm.
So
Pass
I'm
it
very
on.
comfortable. Okay, so where did I put my stuff? I'm in the wrong page. I opened it up. There. No.
Do one of you guys want to share it?
Jamie,
like
do you have
shares.
it? Do you have it up? I have the Canvas page up.
Are you
Or
talking about this?
Here, hold on.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, this is what I'm
that's what I was looking for.
Okay. You want me to I can just keep it up?
Please, that would be awesome.
Okay.
Okay, so part A, context. And so I opened up my download. Where'd you go?
You know where to find your rubrics, right?
Yes. Planning rubric 1. So I have this one. I kill trees. So
I'm also a tree killer.
yeah.
Wait,
Don't
if I'm like bopping around through different, like if I open up the document on my screen, do you still see the slideshow or do you see whatever I'm looking at?
I see your slideshow right now. You would
Like
have
you
to
can,
you'd
like,
have to switch sharing to go to the other one, but you can pull up your I'll see this and
Okay.
you can pull up. Yeah.
Just want to make sure I'm not like,
I learned the hard way with my little first graders that you can't just
yeah,
I have like different slides and
right.
learning curve. Okay, rubric 1 planning context. Ooh. Oh, Jennifer. Support varied planning, lesson plans. So maybe context.
So, are we using the rubric understanding rubric level progressions document? Or should we be on a different document to find these things?
Yeah. So
You
Emily,
could-
should we
you
use the
could
whole?
just look at the rubrics themselves.
That's what I have.
I
And
think
so-
that might be easiest. The understanding rubrics doc would just be kind of an extra additive, like if you are
Okay.
not understanding what is the difference between a 3 and a 4.
Okay.
So are the rubrics in the handbook?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're in the handbook.
We're on
Okay.
I'm on page, there's 13, 14, so I'm just knowledge, so context.
So what's the name of the first rubric?
Planning or literacy learning.
And what does it say under 4?
Right,
Level 4?
Mm-hmm.
Candidates' plans for instruction build on each other with a meaningful context that supports learning of the essential literacy strategy or comprehending or composing text, and with clear and consistent connections to related skills.
Is there a part here that you think that obviously would address?
I see what you're doing now. Context.
You think it's okay? And do you agree, Jamie? Keeping in mind that it could be addressed in multiple.
Yeah. But it is
yeah, I'm still trying to understand what I'm doing.
Okay.
So we would put rubric 1 level 4. Is that what you're looking for, Emily? Maybe.
I would just put the numbers here.
Okay.
Is it just, are you pointing out level 4? Because that just should be all of our target.
Yes.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
5, depending on if you're
5.
elementary, it goes to 5, but if you're secondary, it only goes to 4. That's why I mentioned
Yeah.
one or the other.
I'm going to settle for 4s.
Yeah.
Okay. So that one, I believe it talks a lot about planning, does it not?
Yes.
I would say it definitely goes under B.
Yeah. Okay.
You see what's happening here?
Am I typing in the correct thing?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the verbiage from the rubric is going to go in the next column
Okay.
over.
So verbiage.
So we're looking for meaningful, essential literacy strategy with that, or
maybe build on each other.
I like build on each other. I think that's good.
okay.
All right. So plans.
I'm going to check in with the other folks a little bit and check back in, okay?
Thank you for guiding us.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, hey, hey.
Hello.
Hello.
How are we doing?
Okay.
Oh, okay. I want to clarify if there are any questions. So will one of you share the doc?
Well, we're
We're
both on
working on
different
separate
slides.
docs because one of us is elementary, one of us is secondary.
Okay. What questions can I answer?
Just to make sure that we are both understanding this correctly, it looks like for secondary math, there are multiple rubrics for each one of the 5 tasks. Am I reading things correctly?
I would say that that is accurate.
Okay.
And I would say that that's probably the case for more than just secondary math.
Yeah.
But I do think that there could be enough connection that some of them are going to overlap between the two of you. And so you can still discuss it and be like, this says this. Do you think that really actually is part of the planning doc?
Mm-hmm.
And once again, this is going to be based on what you understand those pieces are about. If they already have, if they have templates, that might help in clarifying some of that. That's a very good question. Any other questions so far?
Think so.
Okay. I'm going to leave you to it then. You look very, very focused.
Awesome. Thanks, Emily.
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hello.
How are we doing?
All right, the rubric, you can see us all reading our rubric sideways. Of course, I have not printed mine out yet because I have no printer paper.
Are you on the PDF viewer thing? Because there should be a little like rotate button.
Yeah, let me see. Oh, look at that. There it is. Amazing.
I was wondering why everybody was sort of.
Yeah, right. Rotate. Oh, that makes my life a lot easier. Okay.
I got to get out of the editing view. I went there to put bookmarks.
Okay, what questions can I answer either about the process or, deeper about, the rubrics, etc.
Well, I'm not sure what you mean by to fill out here by verbiage. Like, I mean, all the stuff in boldface here in the rubrics is obviously important stuff. Like the word consistent keeps popping up here.
Ooh, yes, I would say that consistent in what parts, right? I would say consistent is definitely an important word, but depending on the rubric, consistent what, right? So that the idea is that when you are reviewing and revising and editing your lesson plans, maybe, you can then look at this document and go, is there consistent evidence of?
Mm-hmm.
Am I addressing da 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 da? So that's the kind of piece that's part of what we're doing. One, this is forcing you to deep dive into the rubrics and understanding what all the pieces actually are asking for. And 2, you're creating a document that you can refer back to after you have actually done this or even pre-doing parts of this so that you can actually know what they're looking for.
I see they have very definite expectations too here. It's like about planning. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good thing to know.
Yeah, they definitely expect some things out of you here.
What are you seeing?
Well, there's a lot of stress upon interpretation of visual art here for this planning for visual art learning, and so clearly, whatever lessons plan that I involve it, because a lot of my instruction in visual art is just trying to show a process and a technique we're going to be working on. It's like I go back and forth between, okay, we're going to look at this artist, and then maybe one lesson is going to be like, here's we're going to learn how to work in watercolors. So we're going to spend a little time here with Audubon and watch how he worked with watercolors. And the next lesson, we're going to work with watercolors ourselves. So it seems that whatever lessons that I focus on, we have to sort of combine all those things together, because that's clearly what they're looking for. So you can't just sort of hop from lesson to lesson. You got to kind of integrate all those things into one lesson, don't you? It's like, it's good to see what they're looking for so you can sort of tailor your classes accordingly. But
Makes me feel like my work is almost complete. Fantastic.
I know, it's kind of it's not really that realistic in a way.
Well, the question is it need to be in every single lesson, or does it just need to be once in your 3 to 5 lesson segment?
So that's what I mean, is if we're going to be, they're looking at the entire arc of 4, like the 4, let's just say I'm planning on 4, like creating 4 lessons. They're going to be looking at the entire arc of these 4 lessons, right? Not just this segment that we're going to film. Does that make any sense to you?
Yes.
The segment that we're going to film is just a little slice of the whole lesson plan we're unloading on them.
Well, and most people are doing segments, although some are doing one segment.
You can do different segments?
Okay, I want to double check with your visual arts one before I confirm that.
I was under the impression it had to be one 15-minute unedited segment. This is news to me.
Let's take a look at yours. And while I'm looking at that, Lee, Olga, how y'all doing?
Oh, I don't know.
Because I haven't really looked at the filming requirements yet. I haven't got that far.
Well, yeah, well, that's what I'm looking at right now. And while I'm pulling that up, Lee, can you go a little deeper? What is I don't know?
I'm moving stuff around. So I think that planning supports for students is more about context and less about lesson plans, but there's some overlap there.
As there often is in education.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like to me tying the supports to the objectives and the focus is more of a lesson plan thing, but tying them to the needs of specific students is more of a context thing. So I'm shuffling some language.
Okay.
I wasn't finding a rubric that really focused on context, so I'm having to parse through the various rubrics to, and I'm not using the reference guide document very much because it was a little.
It's a lot, and that's only if you are kind of need it, right?
I think those little brown boxes will be a good check. Right now I'm focused on the rubrics, but I think the little brown box actually says, hey, for this aspect, we're looking at these pieces of evidence. So I'll go back to that.
Good.
Once I've gone through the rubrics.
And Joe, will you look at the piece I've highlighted here?
Yeah. This one, the video, oh yes. 20 minutes.
No more than 20 minutes.
Wait, so you can have one video clip, not 1 or 2 video clips. Okay, so you can break it up into 2, basically. So basically they've said, yeah, you can break it up into two. It has to be a minimum of 3 minutes and a max of 20 minutes, grand total. Okay, so we're allowed to cut it into two. Well, that makes it a little bit easier. Find the 2 clips where our students are the most engaged.
And hopefully you will, through this process, know how to do what we're doing right now with the video part. And you'll be able to know what they're actually looking for, because engagement is only one of the 5 rubrics for video.
And how important is the video to in relation to the planning? I mean, is it like, can the video make or break you, or is it like?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
How? What do I need to watch out for?
If it's actually just like non-functional and you can't hear anything or you can't see things, they will just throw the whole thing out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of more of a technological piece. If so the technological requirements is the biggest piece of that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's also the, like, if something, kind of crazy and exciting happens in the classroom and they want it and you don't respond to it well, and then you decide to turn that in.
Yeah.
Right. Those kinds of things. Kids do all sorts of stuff. A lot of it is not about that so much as it is about how you respond.
This is a technical question, but I've been struggling I would assume that we would want the gallery view for submitting this, so they would need to see a minimum of 4 students. So we'd need to have a gallery view, I would imagine, because my school district automatically tapes, automatically record every class. So
your requirement for distance learning is that you are able to see minimum of 4 students faces.
Okay.
Otherwise, they could be, I don't know, like a,
So if I say I
women.
need 5 of you to show your faces, right now, come on, everybody, and I'm not gonna include that part in the videotape. Just be like, come on, I need 5 of you to volunteer to show your faces for this.
They have to have cameras on. My 6th graders are not real keen on that.
Yeah, that gets harder. And also sometimes it's about the relationships that you have with those students and their families. Sometimes it's like, hey, I just need to do this. It's really going to be like, what, 7 minutes? And apparently, if it's an extreme situation, I think that I've understood that they're okay if only one of the videos has the minimum, but obviously that's like a really.
I've got 22 and 6 of them participate a lot. So I'm guessing as we build rapport that I'll get there.
Yeah. And having that conversation with them about, like, this is what needs to happen and this is what I need to do. If you want me to become a teacher, can you please just show your face for 7 minutes? I don't know, whatever the relationship is with you and your students, but I wanted to go check in with one other group really quick. We're about to come back in like 3 minutes. I wanted to actually ask you, Lee, about this thing that you posted in here.
Yeah, it's really interesting to look at, what are you doing with the IEPs? It is very specific. This is in the URLP document, but how do you score a level 4? There's good information in there. And I put the scary one in there, which is how to automatically get a 1. Good to be aware of.
None are included in the plan support, then the rubric is scored as an automatic.
Your supports better specifically call out those IEPs, which I did not know.
That is fantastic. Can you share that when we come back?
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice there, Lee. Thank you for that. That is really handy to have.
Because I thought I was doing great on context because I talked about the IEPs and my support language was sort of general, like, okay, I'm going to do this, but I didn't connect it to the specific students. So guess who would have had an automatic 1?
Yowza McYowza. Yes, please share that when we come back full group. And I'm going to head back and send a little note really quick. precious. Hey. Ooh, we're all coming back. Exciting. Looks like we've got everyone back now. Welcome. I hope that was an exciting and an illuminating adventure, the deep dive into task 1. And just because I'm an educator, pop quiz. In what physical elements of task 1 will you need to cite research? I realize now that maybe not everybody got that far, but does anybody have the answer? And at this point, if you could actually just take off mute and we'll just talk about it. Did anybody get that answer? Nobody got it, huh? I actually had it the other day, but I figured that one of you guys would get it, so I've already forgotten it. Let me find it really quick. Okay, rubric 3, using knowledge of students to inform teaching and learning. So it says at the bottom, candidate makes connections to research and or theory. So which physical element did you connect rubric 3 to? And that was, and I'm looking specifically at elementary math, but I'm pretty sure that there's an element to that in most of them. Anybody?
Looks like the planning commentary.
Okay. Planning commentary. Because it talks about justifying the learning. Okay, good. I would say that that is an accurate assessment. In what physical elements of task 1 will you need to address academic language?
The lesson plans.
Lesson plans. Is that it? Or would
Planning
you say
commentary.
well, what was that?
The planning commentary.
Ooh, yes. I would say that definitely the both of those. Is there a third one? I don't think I would. Yeah, I'm not sure that I would say a third one, unless, of course, it is an element of the context where you're talking about the specific students and their needs, especially if you have ELL students. Does that sound familiar to you? Do you hear what I'm saying? Okay, so that's another piece. And last pop quiz question. How would you define consistent? And I would like to invite somebody who maybe hasn't shared yet, who thinks, you know, okay, I got this one. How would you define consistent in the context of the edTPA?
Well, Roddy always used alignment. He kept bringing up alignment again and again. He drilled that into us. Everything's aligned.
Okay, so when you say aligned, what I'm also hearing is that it's maybe it happens multiple times. There's like a repetition maybe, or yeah. Anybody else want to add to that?
It's just done in the same way.
Ooh.
Over time.
Maybe. So like, you have like a standard that you're trying to teach to, and then you're everything you're doing needs to be related back to that one teaching objective, and making sure that your lesson plans and tasks and assessments are all addressing that one same thing and related to each other.
Beautiful. It's like the boat in a bottle, folks. You got to pull the string and the string brings the whole boat. Okay, perfect. I love it. Let's see. We are about 5 minutes out, so let's talk about the next steps. Now, I understand that not all of you were able to finish the project that we just did, but that's okay because we have the soft end transition, and you also have, you know, a better idea of what you're looking at now. Oh, wait, Lee, I wanted you to share the thing that you found. Can you do that? Because it's kind of cool.
Well, I popped it into the chat, and it's a big, long, scary paragraph that says how you can get an automatic 1, which is by doing what I did, describe, the individual IEPs in the context, but not specifically in your lesson planning. So I'm going to do like a matrix bullet dodge right here. There we go. So I'm going to be going back in my planning. You do not have to, apparently, when I looked at the level 4 performance, you don't have to say this support is for this student and this support is for this student if you can group them by having similar needs. You should still call them out, student A, B, and C, and I think name the needs would probably be a good idea, but you can have, as we know, one type of support that helps multiple students. So yeah, let's not score a 1.
Yeah.
Well, they won't even look at the rubric if you do not connect the planning to the needs.
And that is not only a good thing to know for the edTPA, it's also probably a really good thing to know for teaching. You have kids who have needs in your room. If their needs aren't met, it's going to be really hard, if possible, for them to learn, and they deserve that access. Every single one of them. So thank you for sharing that. I thought that was kind of a big piece. That was found in the Understanding of Rubric Level Progressions, which is a dense but also really useful document. Oh, I'm not going to make you do the pop quiz again. We already pop quizzed. Okay. So I know that you didn't finish all of it, but that's okay, because now you sort of have a better idea of what we're looking at. You got to play around with the rubrics and you got to really dig into it a little deeper. And hopefully you can continue to do that. I really do want to invite you to find others who are doing the same test as you and continue to work on this with them, unless you prefer to work alone. But I always liked working with somebody so I could bounce thoughts and ideas off of them. I found that to be extremely useful. We're going to, soft end, which remember that means you can bust out at 10, or you can stay and we can continue working. You can work in your own room and then come and ask me questions, what have you. You should be aiming to complete task 1 in the next 2 weeks. I say on the safe side because obviously everybody has their own thing, but and everybody has a slightly different situation with regards to, hybrid teaching or going back, and who knows, right? But I would say that that's a good aim to go for. Once again, find a friend and peer review. I am not allowed to review your edTPA work, but your friends are. So I would, find somebody else who also needs their stuff to be reviewed, and, build that partnership. If you have any questions, ask me or meet with me early and often. I sat in my office hours all by my lonesome on Thursday. I was busy on Monday, but all by my lonesome on Thursday. I got lots of work done, but I didn't get to hang out with anybody. And I will admit I was a little sad. And then after you've done all of those things, you can begin on task 2. Thank you for joining us today. I hope to see you again at the next one. If you enjoyed today, tell a friend. Any other things before we stop recording? I would love to stop recording. It makes me so nervous. And how do I stop? Here we go. Stop recording.